Hello, 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 hello. Hello, hello, hello. And welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. My name is Kate. This is ASMR Remedy, and I post new ASMR content whenever it fits into my schedule. So, thank you for being here. I actually filmed this video earlier today, and I was editing it, and the sound just was not it. I don't know. I think maybe the gain was up too high, and I kept bumping the table, and I right after trying to edit it, I actually ordered headphones, so those will be here from whenever I film my next video. So, yeah, because it sucks to film for over half an hour and then go to edit it and the footage doesn't work because the sound is bad. If I had headphones, I would have noticed that immediately. So, anyways, let's try this again. Round two. So I'm going to be talking about every film that I've watched so far this year, since we're a quarter of the way through the year, a little more, but I am going to exclude talking about all of the Oscar-nominated films that I watched because I made 2 videos talking in depth about the Oscars, so I don't want to talk about them for a third time. So if you're interested in my opinions on the films that were nominated for Oscars, such as Oppenheimer, Anatomy of a Fall, American Fiction, I watched them all, so go check that out. But otherwise, I've watched about 15 other movies so far. I was going to combine this originally with books and podcasts and other stuff, but I watched so many movies. So, yeah. I do have my window open per usual, so you're going to hear there's a plane overhead now, there's people walking outside, there's stuff going on. I personally like a little bit of background noise with my ASMR, but if you guys don't, please let me know and I will stop leaving my window open for every video. I also, I was at Sephora earlier and I was swatching blushes, so I'm not bruised. It's just blush. Okay, let's do it. I have my letterboxed account pulled up on my laptop, so if you guys see me looking over here, that's what I'm looking at. I'll link my letterboxd in the description if you guys want to follow me on there. I leave little one-liners about like half the movies I watch, I guess, but otherwise it's not that interesting. Okay, so the first film I watched this year was the new Mean Girls, starring Renee Rapp. Now, I gave this 3 stars, but on looking back, I honestly would give it 2. I just gave it 3. Like, I usually rate my films right after I watch them. Sometimes I go back and change it, but I gave it a 3 star. It's a 2. I think my expectations were too high for this film, and I love Renee Rapp. I love her on Sex Lives of College Girls. I love her music. I love her personality and her like media presence, but she just didn't feel like Regina to me. The casting in this was not my favorite, to be honest. Like, the actress that played Janice stole the show. I can't think of her name, but she also voices Moana. She was excellent. And so was the girl that played Karen. No, I'm sorry. The girl that in this. I did not like her in this. She can't sing. And she didn't act very well either. And I didn't like the guy that played Aaron Samuels, who didn't sing at all. I just didn't like it. But I did see it in theaters with some of my girlfriends, so the actual watching experience was great. But otherwise, not for me. Next, I watched Moonlight, which I'm pretty sure won Best Picture in 2016 when it came out. It was at the very least nominated for Best Picture in 2016. Or was that the year where La La Land won? But they called Moonlight on accident. Am I making that up? Maybe I'm misremembering it, but I'm pretty sure that's that year. I really liked this. This was my first time watching it. It was, I liked the sort of time jump, how it chronicled this man's life from childhood. My cat is trying to catch a fly, and she's attacking the windows. Okay. I really liked the story and the acting, and it was just really beautiful. He just had like a tumultuous childhood, and it sort of followed him growing up and jumped through time, and cinematically gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous film. It really captured me, and it was a great story. I'll probably be watching this one again at some point. You guys know I'm a serial rewatcher, so half of these I'm sure I'll watch again. Next. Oh, and I don't know if I said, but this was a 4-star for me. I'm very stingy with 5 stars for books and movies. Very, very stingy. Next, I watched The Children Act, starring Emma Thompson and Stanley Tucci. This one, I believe, is an A24 film, like Moonlight. You guys also probably know that I'm a huge A24 fan. When I've seen some more A24s, I want to do a video talking about my favorite A24s. I've probably seen like 40 of them. Anyways, I digress. The Children Act. Emma Thompson plays a judge. Emma Thompson plays a judge who is ruling on a case where there is a teenager, a child, a boy, who essentially needs a blood transfusion, or his life is significantly threatened. And he is, I believe, Mormon. His parents are Mormon. And I guess in their religion, you cannot get blood transfusions. So the case is basically whether to side with the parents and deny the child the blood transfusion, or side with the hospital and give it to him, even though his parents don't consent. I really loved the courtroom, like, proceeding law part of this film, and I loved the dynamic between Emma Thompson and Stanley Tucci, and their marriage was really interesting to me. However, the second half of the film focuses more on the boy in the case and sort of his journey and his character arc with his family, and I didn't care about that, to be honest. I was more compelled by, again, the legal parts and then the parts with the marriage. So I really liked the first half, and then it just sort of declined a bit for me. I gave this 3 stars. I did like it, and I'd recommend it if you like courtroom stuff, but some crazy stuff happens toward the end that is like out of left field, kind of wild. It keeps it interesting. Next, I watched Fargo, which stars, I think her name is Frances McDormand. or something like that. I know she stars in 3 Billboards, which I love, and I kind of want to rewatch 3 Billboards like soon because I've been thinking about that film, talking about Fargo. But there's a TV show, Fargo, which I've seen before, but this was my first time watching the movie, which came out in the 90s. It takes place in Fargo, North Dakota, and it's like a murder mystery that centers like on the law enforcement trying to solve the case, and they all have the like Fargo, North Dakota accent. Like, I really butchered that, but Fargo, North Dakota. It's like this white, snowy, bleak sort of backdrop, which I think adds kind of to the vibes of the film, and I liked it. There's also a lot of like comedic relief in it, which is kind of fun for like a mystery. I wouldn't call it a thriller because it's not super fast paced, but I did like it. I do prefer the show though, so I would definitely give the show a try. I gave this 3.5 stars. Okay, next I watched a slew of Oscar-nominated films. So we're gonna skip all of those and go to Saltburn. Saltburn. Now, if you haven't seen Saltburn, I would be surprised because it sort of like took over the internet. I watched Saltburn kind of right when it came out, so I went in totally blind, no spoilers, no really idea what it was about or anything. If somehow you have escaped spoilers and you still haven't seen the film, go watch it. I loved going in blind because everything that happened was so unexpected. I didn't know what it was about. I just wanted to watch it because of Jacob Elordi. I, like every other woman in the world probably, I'm obsessed with Jacob Elordi. He's divine. I didn't realize it actually stars Barry Keoghan, who I've never seen in anything else. I know he was in Banshees of Inisherin and a couple other projects. Maybe was he in The Lobster? I don't recall because I've not seen anything he's been in. So, but he was fantastic in this. The costumes, the sort of set, the soundtrack. I did like this. It's very twisty and turny. And I don't necessarily love how it ends. I mean, the ending scene is fun, but like I don't really love maybe like the last quarter of the film. I did give this 4 stars. I'm sure I'll watch it again at some point. And also, what's her name? Rosamund Pike is excellent in this film. Okay, let's go to... Okay, then I watched more Oscars films. And after finishing all of the Oscar noms, I watched Priscilla on a Jacob Elordi kick. No, I actually had no interest in watching Priscilla because I watched the Elvis movie with Austin Butler and Tom Hanks. I saw it in theaters, I think, and I despised that movie. I did not enjoy it at all. And I knew it would be different because Priscilla is A24, and I knew it was more focused, of course, on Priscilla and not Elvis. I'm not a big Elvis fan, to be honest with you. And, but yeah, ASMR X Babe, aka Julia, talked about Priscilla in one of her videos. And I was like, okay, I'll try it, check it out. I gave it 2 stars. I really didn't like it. I thought Jacob Elordi had a good Elvis. The woman who played Priscilla, I'd never seen her before. I don't recall her name. I felt like her performance was kind of one note, and I didn't feel like her and Jacob Elordi had any chemistry. I understand that the entire point of the film was to show that Priscilla was like entirely consumed by her relationship with Elvis. But we didn't get really hardly any of Priscilla like by herself, so she didn't have a developed personality or character, so it made it kind of hard to connect and sympathize with her. And also I felt that the film just had some pacing issues and was really slow for me. So I gave it 2 stars, and realistically it probably could just get 1. So next, I watched The Talented Mr. Ripley, The Talented Mr. Ripley, The Talented Mr. Ripley. So, okay, I don't know how long, or how I made it so long without watching this film. So this came out in 1999, which is the year I was born. And it stars Matt Damon, Jude Law, and Gwyneth Paltrow, and Cate Blanchett. Like, what a freaking lineup. And they're also young and gorgeous and tan and fresh-faced, and this was so good. I gave it 4 stars. I really enjoyed it, and it's kind of it's a thriller, I guess. I'll give you a quick little synopsis in case you also have made it this long without seeing it. Mr. Ripley, who's played by Matt Damon, he's basically like a con artist, and he is trying to con money out of Jude Law's family. I can't remember the character name, so I'm just going to use the actor names. I'm sorry. And so he flies to Italy to meet up with Jude Law, who he's never met. It's kind of hard to explain without like over-explaining the whole plot, but basically it focuses on their summer, and Jude Law is dating Gwyneth Paltrow. It focuses on their summer together, and at some point, the intricate web of lies that Matt Damon has weaved starts to unravel, and chaos ensues. All the best films have ensuing chaos at some point, and it starts to get crazy, off the rails, insane. I really love this movie. It feels a little bit long. It is over 2 hours long, but like it starts to lose us a little bit in the last act, but boy, it's a film, and I can't believe it took me this long to watch it, so I absolutely recommend that. Next I watched, did I get out of focus for a second? That was weird. Next, I watched Thoroughbreds. Thoroughbreds with Anya Taylor-Joy. So, I'd actually never heard of this film before, but for whatever reason, I was really wanting to watch an Anya Taylor-Joy film this day, and I've seen quite a bit of her work, but I wanted to watch something new that I'd never seen of hers before. So I found Thoroughbreds. I had no idea what it was about. I just sort of watched it, turned it on, and it's starring her and then her co-star. I can't remember the actress's name. She also was in Bates Motel. That's what I know her from. But anyways, this movie is strange. I like strange, but just a warning in case you don't like a movie that is strange and different. Basically, again, I don't remember the character name, sorry. Anya Taylor-Joy's character is like pretty mentally not good, like she's kind of disturbed, she has a lot going on, and then the other girl is like literally a psychopath, like she has no emotions, which is established pretty early on in the film. friendship, and they hatch a devious plan to commit a pretty serious crime together. But they don't like know each other that well, and so you are kind of following this female friendship as it blossoms, and they're brought closer together by this like crime plot that they've devised. There's some very strange sort of subplots and like underlying things. The music is strange. The visuals are pretty, but kind of strange. I think this is A24 too, actually, which would make a lot of sense. But all in all, I gave this 3.5 stars. I liked it. I just had no idea where it was going, which I like to go into films and books blind if I can, as much as possible. And so I would recommend this. Anya Taylor-Joy is genius, obviously. Okay, next, totally just changing gears. I watched Players on Netflix. I was just in the mood for like a easy rom-com light watch this night. And this, I saw that it was starring Gina Rodriguez, who stars in Jane the Virgin and Anyone But You, which is also a Netflix film that came out a couple years ago. And I love Gina Rodriguez. I think she's so funny. She is stunning. I just really like her. I think she's really charming, and so I had to watch this. And it also stars Damon Wayans Jr., aka Coach from New Girl. So it was fine, you guys. The love story is really rushed and doesn't really fit. It feels kind of forced, and the friend group, I don't know. Like, I feel like we don't get to know enough about all of these characters, and so I didn't feel super emotionally connected to them. And it also was like, it was pretty obvious where it was going, but like, I mean, rom-coms are supposed to be obvious, but I don't know. I gave it 2.5 stars. Just that it was, it was an interesting premise, but it just fell kind of flat for me. But it did the job of being a lighthearted rom-com when I needed it. Next, I watched The Vow, which this was a rewatch with Channing Tatum and Rachel McAdams. I've seen this. Actually, I saw it in the theater. I've seen it several times since then, and I thought I really loved this movie. And I had this sort of idea of it in my head as being great, and these characters having great chemistry, and it just being like this beautiful love story. I didn't love it on this watch. I'm not sure why. I ended up giving it 3 stars, and upon further investigation, I don't really find Channing Tatum and Rachel McAdams to have the best chemistry. So I don't know what it is, but I would still recommend it. And I think if you haven't seen it, it's a good watch. It's sad, and it's kind of heavy, but it felt a little bit, I don't know, it was missing something for me on this watch. Next, I watched Runaway Jury, which came out in the 90s or the early 2000s. It's based on a John Grisham book. It stars John Cusack, Rachel Weisz, who else is in it? Gene Hackman, Dustin Hoffman. So the cast is fantastic. So you would think that the film would measure up. Loved the premise. It's a courtroom drama about what really goes on with a jury and just how much a jury can influence the outcome of a case, and there's some sort of sinister behind the scenes things going on. I found this film to be extremely predictable, repetitive, sort of jumpy, kind of jumped all over the place and was a little bit hard to follow, and it didn't hold my attention super well. I gave it 2.5 stars. The cast was great, and again, I love the premise, and I love the first half of the film, and then it just sort of It just fell a little bit flat for me. Next. I watched Anyone But You, the new Sydney Sweeney and Glenn Powell rom-com that came out the end of last year. As described in my Letterboxd review, this was comically horrible. This is one of the worst rom-coms I've ever watched, and I've seen a lot. The highlight of this film is that Glenn Powell and Sydney Sweeney are hot. There is nothing else. There's no coziness. There's no, charming. Like, a rom-com has to be cozy and it has to feel personal. This felt impersonal. It felt corporate. It felt, the dialogue was bad. And listen, I know Sydney Sweeney is a great actress because I've seen her in Euphoria. I also saw her in another film called Honor or Winner, maybe, something like that I liked. This was bad. It literally felt like she was reading off of a teleprompter. The story was bad. We got zero development of the background characters. We got zero development. It was low stakes. It didn't make sense. It was so forced, trite, saccharine even. Just, I'll save you the time. Don't watch it. Okay, next. Because I needed a comfort film, something to uplift me, I rewatched Split. Split is a 5-star film for me. I saw it in the theaters when when I say this is a 5-star film, this might be in my top 10 films of all time. And again, like I say on Letterboxd, it gets better with every watch. James McAvoy is, a craftsman. He plays, 20 different characters in this film. He should have won an Oscar for this. The Oscars don't take horror and thrillers seriously, or else he would have. And Anya Taylor-Joy. If you've not seen Split, log off. Literally giving you permission to turn this off and go watch it. It gets better with every watch. It's just perfect. And the body horror and you're on the edge of your seat the whole time. Let's move on. We only have a couple left, so only 3. Okay. Next, I watched Grad with my sister. We only watched it because it stars Alexis Bledel, aka Rory Gilmore. This movie is bad. It's objectively bad. 1.5 stars. Her parents are played by Michael Keaton and Jane Lynch, though, which is kind of a good little bonus. So basically it's if Rory Gilmore had a different family and a different post-grad experience, but it still felt like Rory Gilmore, except way more bland. So yeah, this movie was boring and not good, and there's a reason why I've never heard of it, but it's starring Alexis Bledel, so if you're a Gilmore Girls fan, go watch it. Put it in the background while you fold laundry. Okay, then the other day, it was the day of, there was supposed to be a huge storm, and so I didn't work that day, and so I was home, and I wanted some nostalgia, and I watched the Lizzie McGuire movie. Lizzie McGuire. This is what dreams are made of. Hey now. Okay. Listen, this is a 3-star film. If you've never seen it before, don't bother watching it. But for those of you, like me, who grew up watching Lizzie McGuire, this is quintessential. I called it quintessential Italian pop star Pookie. If you know, you know. It's a fun, it's a fresh, it's nostalgic. makes no sense. It's perfect in every way. And my most recent watch, which is the most exciting, I just saw in the theaters, Love Lies Bleeding, 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 which I've been so excited to see. Another A24 masterpiece directed by Rose Glass, starring Kristen Stewart and Katie O'Brien and Dave Franco. Jenna Malone's in it. Ed Harris is in it. This film goes hard, okay? If you don't know, it stars Kristen Stewart, who plays Lou, who works at a gym where she meets Katie O'Brien's character, Jackie. They fall in love, okay? Jackie is a bodybuilder who is planning on competing in a bodybuilding competition in Las Vegas. And her and Lou fall in love. And guess what? Like all good movies, chaos ensues. And they basically become wrapped up in some criminal shit. And also, listen, this movie is sexy. There are some hot, spicy sex scenes in this that are not cringy whatsoever, that are just... my review on Letterboxd, I said, not surprising, Kristen Stewart, hot. Surprising, Dave Franco, not. Dave Franco is slimy and disgusting and, like, ugly in this film, believe it or not. This was a masterpiece. Kristen Stewart can do no wrong in my eyes. Everything she does, I am obsessed with. She's so incredible. This cast, I mean, the story. So, I gave it 4 stars. The only reason it wasn't higher is because I'm not sure about the ending. I'm actually planning to go see this in theaters again this week, so it may change. I just need to see it again, but it's a great film. Go see it. Go see it in theaters too, because it's got a lot of action. I feel like action films are just best seen in theaters, you know? So that is every film that I've watched in 2024 so far. No new 5 stars. Well, besides the Oscar noms. But, yeah, I'm excited to continue watching films. Let me know if you've seen any of these, what your favorite film of the year is so far, and or what film is coming out in 2024 that you're most excited for. I'm personally really excited for Civil War, which comes out next weekend, A24. And, I don't know if it's coming out this year, but I think they're releasing the trailer for Maxine, which is the 3rd installment in the X-Pearl horror series by A24. And I love the first 2, so I'm excited for that to come out at some point. I don't know. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you are staying safe, happy, and healthy. And I will see you all in my next video. Bye.